We're doing squirrel removal, flying squirrel, eastern gray squirrels. There's black squirrels, chipmunks, rats, mice, everything that goes into your attic. We have a special at NewJerseyPest.com. I've been doing wildlife control. I'm a certified wildlife control professional for over 9 years now, and I think it's better for single-family home clients. It'd be better to hire the professional exterminator they use for year-round pest control for insects and mice, because the exterminator is more familiar with your house since they're in the same areas like attic space. So instead of hiring a separate contract with another wildlife company they charge maybe even double the price because that's their primary income, whereas just doing wildlife, so they're going to charge a premium if you hire your exterminator. That's why we got licensed with that, so we can offer more of a discount price with the guarantee and surround you with our regular general pest services year round, so you'll get a discount and a really good service. So like an exterminator would be probably the best way to go for a simple type of pest like mice, rats, and squirrels. But squirrels is really not really too much something you could do yourself. Some people seem to be familiar with them and can go buy a trap or two, go do some research online. But they're, how they get in, they're going to keep getting in. They do a lot of contamination. They get, you could put a trap up there. It may work 1 year, and then the next few years you'll never catch one. And they do a lot of damage in your attic space. So we have a lot of customers that do work. Here's a reference list for squirrels. We have a lot of squirrel customers. Here we have a customer list that if you did need references, we can provide them. But eastern gray squirrels are the most common ones. In central Jersey you also have the flying squirrels, which can go horizontally, just go into any kind of gap or crack, but they find a way into your attic space through a dormer. They can go jump off your tree, and they could jump off the tree next to the house or electrical lines, and then once they get access to the roof, they can just look for any kind of openings. And here on the end, like the dog ear here, this is the most common area where the fascia plate behind the gutter. There's usually a natural gap there, or water damage where the wood is softer from maybe freeze back, and they can make a bigger hole and gain access and get back and forth, and never will leave your attic. They'll come in whenever it rains year round. Even if it gets too hot, or if it rains, they'll seek shelter into your house, and definitely in the wintertime they seem to detect when it's going to get colder. Every time there's a big snowstorm coming, we get a lot of calls 2 or 3 days before the snow hits. They seem to be familiar to know when that cold snap's coming. So we get calls, and there's snow on the ground, snow on the roof. There's so many entry points where this is something it's a good example how chipmunks or rats, squirrels can get into your house through any kind of openings into your foundation that's big enough for them to squeeze through. This one, I guess, is going through a brick fascia, and they can get into your wall void, and end up in the wall void. They can go up into the attic space. They're great climbers, and also squirrels are very aggressive because they're territorial. So there's many things you could do as a homeowner to try to prevent attracting squirrels to your property. You shouldn't feed birds because you're going to be feeding squirrels too. But here's the biggest way that squirrels get in: electrical lines. If I can get this page to load up, but the electrical lines, coming off of the utility phone wires and cable, where they're attached or anchored to the up by the fascia or the veneer, and if it's high enough, they can just jump right up onto your roof, and then they can either chew into the veneer, or maybe the wind blew off the wrapping, and they can just easily squeeze through. But you can see this case, there's moisture damage where the gutter separated from the fascia board, and in the meantime, you're going to have to remove the squirrels, and that could take a couple weeks process before you do any kind of repair. So there's things you can do. Here's an after when everything's fixed. You can probably have to get a carpenter, or we do this kind of repair. If it's simple enough, we can offer that part of our guarantee. But in this case, it's a pretty significant amount of damage. That's what we require an estimate. You could probably get estimates. Something like this would fall under our guarantee unless we did the repair. We'd have to give a separate estimate for that. This is not like a small hole. This is structural damage. But once everything's patched up, we can guarantee the work. So here's something that's pretty simple. It happens all the time, where it's two nails hitting this little cap end here, and it can just from rain, it can soften up the wood, or wind can blow it off, and the squirrels just get right in there. So you're going to have to remove the squirrels from your attic space. Make sure temporarily secure the spot so they can't get back in, and then you could repair that easily. That's something that we would do under our warranty for free. But there's so many things. There's so much advice. People ask us on the phone, how to get rid of squirrels. There's just think about how many entry points there could be. Your gables, any kind of opening. It doesn't have to be as big as their body. It could be just enough to stick a couple of your index fingers in, and they can squeeze through or make the hole bigger. And then a lot of times it's not visible from the outside. But I have let me see if I have my have a video here. Yeah, and what we see here is a narration of traps that we put out, different types of traps. This is the 1040. It's very common, this kind of traps that we would put in an attic space. And then we have another trap called the 1078. That's a raccoon-sized trap that works great for squirrels because it has a single trend to the trap, and it's a bulk. I'm going to go to it right now. Show you how the squirrel goes in there, and it's only one door, and then we can trap and release that safely. Probably we go about 15 miles away. Show you how the squirrel goes in there, and it's only one door, and then we can trap and release that safely. Probably we go about 15 miles away.